How we doing, everybody? It is Larry here again for the Leroy channel, also Lifestyle Dynamic Nutrition and Fitness and Food. So right now I'm just going to talk very briefly on 10 things that you could do for healthy eating. All right, we talk about diets. Well, I hate that word. We talk about eating plans and specifics and reducing fats and reducing carbs and reducing proteins, increasing proteins, and you name it. However, not everybody is able to do all of that. So I just want to talk today about very simple things that we could all do to try to eat better. All right, so this is what I want to talk about. Number one, I'm just going to read this off from my list that I have here. More home-cooked foods. When you go out to eat, you don't know exactly what they're putting in the food. I'm not saying they're adding a whole bunch of negative stuff to it. I'm just saying you don't know the olive oil, you don't know the type of salmon, you don't know the type of chicken, or where the vegetables come from, or how long they've been sitting out. You know, so that all plays a part in how we eat. You know, we talk about organic food, but yet if we go to a store that says, yeah, we only serve organic food, but yeah, you bought it as an organic food, but it's been sitting there for 2 days. Not so organic at that point. You know, there's a huge issue with this. Unless it's going farm to table, like directly to your table, even then you don't have an idea of where it's been, but you have a better idea of where it's been versus trusting a restaurant. Not saying restaurants are bad, they have to do what they have to do, but also they have to work with what they get as well. You know, they're trusting the farmer to give them the food. They're trusting the food distributor to give them quality food. You know, so there's a lot of trust going on here. You want to negate that, try to cook it yourself. The reason being is because home-cooked foods, like I said, are just better overall because you know exactly every ingredient that's going into it, preservatives and additives and all that fun stuff. You don't have to deal with that because you're doing it yourself. That's the point. Okay, more fresh fruit. Fresh fruit is never, ever a bad thing. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Fresh fruit is never a bad thing. Oh, it's the sugars that, you know, make us fat. No, that is not true. You eat an entire 5-pound watermelon, okay, yeah, you have an argument there. You have 1 or 2 pieces, it's not gonna make a difference. Yet you had a coffee in the morning and you added a sugar to that, but yet that's okay. People need to understand where their food comes from and what's natural and what's not, and what the body actually uses and what it doesn't. I got videos for this. Please, go back and look. I appreciate it. Fresh vegetables as snacks, as with meals. So here's the big thing. We have a certain amount of meals throughout the day. Whatever eating plan you might be on, whether you're going with a nutritional profile that we gave you or a nutritionist dietitian gave you, or whatever the case may be, you have a certain amount of calories you have to hit per day, and you spread it out between, let's say, 3 meals, right? Okay, but what happens if you're hungry in between those? You have to have a snack. And any program that you may follow has to account for those snacks, right? So what I'm saying here is when I say fresh vegetables as snacks is it's better to have, I'm not even gonna just say vegetables. I skipped one. Okay, so I'm gonna actually include 2 and 3 in here. Fruits and vegetables as snacks. If I have 2,000 calories a day, I'm just saying, based on my body weight, my exercise level, or whatever. I spread it out between 4 meals. That's 500 calories a day, right? Per meal, I'm sorry. 500 calories per meal for the day. If I have a meal that only accounts for 300 calories, that's an excess of 200 calories. Now, to maintain my body weight and to maintain everything without any change, I need to account for those 200 calories. Instead of adding a carbohydrate, which my body's not going to burn because it's at its level, or a protein, which is probably not going to be utilized, it's just going to be digested and passed through, I'm going to add a fruit which has natural sugars in it, but it has a ton of antioxidants and a ton of vitamins in it, which is overall better than anything else, or a vegetable for the same matter. I'm going to add now 200 calories of fruits and vegetables as a snack periodically through. So if I eat a meal that's 300 calories, I'm going to be hungry an hour and a half later. I'm going to, instead of reaching for another meal, which now throws off my schedule, I'm actually going to reach for a fruit or a vegetable or a combination thereof, get in the calories that I need, satisfying my body, but also adding a ton of vitamins and minerals to me. There is no negative to that. People look at, oh my God, it's a sugar, so the body's just going to store it. No, that's not how it works. You people need to understand this. I'm tired of arguing with people about this. I really am. The sucralose and fructose that's in natural fruit is the easily digestible sugar, because it's natural. The human body was meant to digest that. This synthetic sugar that you put in, look at that. It's synthetic. I'd rather have natural than synthetic. I'm sorry. That's just me. I might be alone in this venture, but whatever. I don't care. But I know what works for me, and synthetic sugars don't work for me. Or my clients, for that matter. Okay, I'm going to step down off my shoebox now. Beans. Beans as a side or in stews. I love beans. I go for, and occasionally, once every 6 months, I take my kids out and we get an authentic Irish or full breakfast. And one of the side dishes is beans. And I love it, and I devour it, and everything's great. Like, my kids don't really like it, but whatever. Yes, chock full of protein. Amazing. Okay? But did you know that if you added red beans to a bowl of rice, you have a complete protein there? Complete, solid, the best protein you could ever possibly get from beans and rice. Yeah. So if you're interested in ramping up your protein and you're a vegetarian, then guess what? White rice and beans are the best thing you could ever have. Yeah. It's amazing. Not to mention the increase in fiber, and it just makes you full throughout the rest of the day. So yes, beans and rice, or even beans and vegetables are fantastic. Beans, vegetables, you want to have chicken, you want to have beef, whatever, you want to eliminate your carbohydrates from it, I don't care. I'm just telling you that beans are a great substitute for solidity in a meal. Do it. Work your way through it. Trial and error. It's the only way you can figure it out. Okay, number 5. More dense, chewy bread, less refined white breads and bread snacks. Okay. Basically what this is saying is eliminate the white breads. Not eliminate, but decrease the white breads. Yeah, that pretty much goes without saying, only because of the high glycemic index that they have. You can check out my video on glycemic index of where foods go and how it affects blood levels, blood sugar levels, and weight loss and muscle gain. But yeah, you want to have more dense breads like a multi-grain bread or whole wheat bread, only because it's a slow digesting carbohydrate and, does not shoot like an insulin spike in your blood levels, which makes your body go nuts. Oh my God, excuse me. So you want to check that out. More fish, skinless chicken, turkey, and less red meat. Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with this. As somebody who ate, you know, three, that's what I'm doing now. 5 to 6 ounces of red meat 4 times a day. Yeah, I'm going to agree with this. We need to increase our fish, our chicken, and our lean turkeys, only because we need the protein, but we don't need the fat, and we don't need the cholesterol that comes with it. Long term now is what we should be looking at, not how I'm going to look at a month from now. We need to look at how I'm going to feel 6 months to a year to 2 years to even 10 years down the line. And this is what we need to pay attention to. Smaller servings of red meat, larger servings of vegetables. Okay, that's common knowledge. The same thing goes with the last one. You want to decrease the amount of red meat, increase your amount of chicken, fish, and lean turkey, and definitely increase your vegetables. I did a video on recipe creation and vegetables with my giant eggplant, and I love that thing because every week I get different vegetables, and I base my meals on the giant amount of vegetables that I get, and I've never felt better. So I highly suggest increasing your vegetables, decreasing your red meat. You want to keep the same amount of protein level as far as chicken and turkey and all that stuff, and fish, by all means. Careful with the fish though, because I did mention this once before, that you want to be careful with the mercury levels in fish, and also salmon's a very, very fatty fish, so you got to be careful with the fats on that. But if you're well aware of this and you account for this, you're going to be well on your way. You're going to be fine. Smaller servings, okay, no, I did that already. Eating low-fat dairy foods. Low-fat dairy foods. Okay, that's just a decrease in fat. So you're going to have low-fat milk, low-fat cheese, okay, you're decreasing your fat intake. Okay. If you're on a keto diet, that's not going to work for you, okay, because you actually want the higher level of fat. But a low-fat, you know, if you have a balanced meal plan with a decreased carbohydrates, decreased fat, minimalized protein based on your, you know, your genetic makeup, your height, your weight, your activity level, a low everything is going to be good for you. So if you could start off by looking at low-fat products, then there's nothing wrong with that. Alrighty? Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Eating less fat in the form of butter, mayo, sour cream. Okay, that's all the same. That's exactly what I just said. Okay. Alright, stocking up with healthy food, snacks. Yeah, okay, this goes with everything else that I said. Okay, this is, the last like 3 are just repetitive, but just in different words of everything that I said. Instead of having a drawer full of pretzels, oh no, pretzels aren't that bad actually. Potato chips and let's say like cheese crackers and stuff like that, you want to have something that's more of, you know, the celery, the carrots, the typical healthy food that people munch on. But if you could do it, apples are great. Check out the last video I made about apples. They have a huge benefit to everybody. You could even add a little peanut butter to that, which gives you protein and omega-3 fats. You know, nothing wrong with that. The foods that we eat are trial and error. Okay, what works for you is not going to work for me. What works for me is not going to work for somebody over there, and therefore, and so on. So we need to just try everything and see what works. But if you try 5 things and they don't work, don't get discouraged. You just haven't found the one thing that works for you yet. And that's the only thing I can tell you is just, if you're serious about your lifestyle and your weight change, you need to be dedicated. That's it. That's it. You will find what works for you. And when you do, you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to just love yourself more than you've ever done before, because you're going to get the results that you've been crying for, and everything's going to be great. And if it doesn't, you haven't found it yet. That's where we come in. We're going to shortcut you guys to different ways of doing things. what works, what doesn't work, what we know, what we don't know. It doesn't hurt to reach out. So try everything you could possibly can. Change one thing at a time, see what works. And then you figure out your best plan. But if you need some help, let us know. Alrighty? Thank you guys for watching. That's pretty much all I got for you. I read all this stuff. I gave you my shtick. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. I truly appreciate it. And I will see you guys again. Thanks.